New Extra Charge Hot and Iced Coffee from Dunkin' is made with 20% extra caffeine from green coffee extract, because we could all use a little extra this year. Whether that's an extra boost, some extra boldness, or the drive to go the extra mile, we're extra ready for whatever comes our way, and extra excited to take it on. Let's get it done with a medium extra charged coffee from Dunkin' for $2 with 20% more caffeine. And pair it with snackable stuffed bagel minis for an added all-day boost. Order ahead on the Dunkin' app. America runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Estar adelante de mis pagos mensuales siempre fue un desafío y no creía que hubiera otra forma de manejar mi dinero. Solía pagar cargos por cada cheque de cajero y giro postal, hasta que escuché sobre Chase Secure Banking. Ahora puedo pagar servicios, cobrar cheques y enviar dinero, todo por un cargo mensual por servicio de $4.95. Así que decidí darle una segunda oportunidad a la banca.
Visita chase.com/Secure Banking para abrir tu cuenta sin depósito mínimo. Chase, logra más con lo que tienes.
Se aplican cargos por ATMs que no pertenecen a Chase. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. miembro de FDIC.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Thank you for downloading Sporgy for free on iTunes or from ChristopherMedia.net. Please make sure to rate Sporgy 5 stars on iTunes and help to tell others about Sporgy by leaving a comment. Thank you for following Sporgy on Twitter at Sporgy Podcast and on Instagram at Sporgy_podcast. Please follow Sporgy on Facebook to like and share Sporgy. You can also email the show. The address is sporgy@ChristopherMedia.net. If you would like to donate to Sporgy, you can click on the PayPal button at ChristopherMedia.net. If you use Amazon.com, please click and bookmark the Amazon link at ChristopherMedia.net. It will not cost you any extra money, and you will help to support Sporgy. If you are looking to launch your own website, please click through the HostGator banner at ChristopherMedia.net. Christopher Media uses HostGator to host all of the shows produced by the Christopher Media Network. When you click through the HostGator banner at ChristopherMedia.net and sign up for HostGator, you're helping to support Sporgy. We know that choosing the perfect gift for a man is a difficult task, but not anymore. TheBroBasket.com is here to help. We all know men are hard to shop for, but what do guys actually like? Their favorite alcohol, that's what. It could be craft beer, wine, whiskey, scotch, or tequila. TheBroBasket.com will put it in a gift basket full of their favorite gear and goodies. You can customize your own Bro Basket or choose from a variety of different Bro Baskets, like the Ultimate Import Sampler, the Jack and Coke gift set, or the Junior Executive gift basket. Boozeless, but still cool, Bro Baskets are also available. TheBroBasket.com gives you many shipping options to choose from, including rush delivery and Saturdays. 21 and over, please. State and local laws apply. Beer, wine, and liquor are not available for shipping in all states. You can help to support Christopher Media by clicking through the BroBasket.com banner at ChristopherMedia.net. Men used to be hard to shop for. TheBroBasket.com.
The thing about Datsuyk, it's not even necessarily a Red Wings thing. It's just interesting because I was reading about that, and because of the way the salary cap is structured, teams will take his dead contract just so they can meet the salary basement instead of the ceiling. And I'm like, that's how fucked up. Yeah, oh, yeah, because you have to spend, there's a cap to what you can spend, but there's a bottom to what you have to spend. And some teams can't even hardly afford to spend that. And they can't actually get, like, long-term contracts. They can't afford to pay people, so they'll take on a contract with 1 or 2 years in it. So the Red Wings will have to eat, like, a percentage of what's owed, and then the other team will take it on as dead money towards what they're spending for that year.
So Russian hockey players are so cheap that a lot of the times they won't spend their minimum, and is that what you're saying? So that's why they're willing to take on extra money?
No, this is the NHL.
Oh, the NHL?
Yeah.
So it's like federal funding from the government. If you don't spend it all, you won't get it again next year?
Yeah, if you don't spend the minimum, you have to spend the minimum. It's around like 65 million is the cap. And I think the basement is around like 35.
So is it saying that the talent in the NHL is underpaid? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying that's how fucked up the cap system is. That this is what you have. You have teams that are doing so poorly that they'll take on a player's contract just to basically fill what they have to spend without ever seeing that player ever dress for them.
Damn.
Instead of league contraction, by the way, they have expansion going on through all this, which makes no sense. And not expansion to areas that would support a hockey team. It's to Vegas, or yet another one in Florida or some shit like that. So, yeah, this is why I am like, that shit can work in football, and that shit can, I guess, work in basketball. But hockey's its own sport. You know, you can't stick these teams who are in tiny markets who don't do well with the same standards you stick teams in New York and LA and Chicago and Detroit. It's just not going to work.
Hey, man, all I got to say is your view, you hit a nerve with our last show because there was a lot of NHL-related love and retweets with our last episode. So apparently you must be not alone in your way of thinking with the NHL.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if it was the Crosby shit or just the all-around, just like, stop fucking with my sport.
I checked. It wasn't anyone based out of San Jose or anybody like that.
Well, I didn't think so. Probably Pittsburgh shitting on us too, but fuck it. It's Pittsburgh. Who gives a fuck? When your nickname is The Pit, all right? I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
The D isn't much better, but at least if we give you the D, you're the one getting fucked in the pit. So
let's say the pit was already taken, so it couldn't be for Detroit.
Yeah, I just, once again, the insanity of the collective bargaining agreement and that the NHLPA has been forced to basically, agree to. I mean, Bettman's done a better job of breaking the NHL Players Association and the Players Union than good old Ronnie did in the 80s of the pilots and shit like that. I mean, it's just crazy. So,
do you get you and Gary Bettman in the cage in the octagon?
I'm a fat 40-year-old guy with a heart condition. I'd take his ass. That's all I'm saying. Fuck him. He's old enough. I'm comfortable. I might die, but I'll be on top of his ass. So.
Well, he's got to be in his 60s, right? Because he's been the commissioner of the NHL since the 90s. Am I wrong?
Yeah. So unfortunately,
there's no sports commissioner in his 30s. So easily, if he's young, he's 40. So he's got to be 60 by now.
Yeah, I think Goodell was probably the youngest I've ever heard of, and he was probably, in his early 40s?
Yeah.
Bettman's going to be, he's 64.
1 year to retirement, buddy.
No, it's not how it works with that shit. You know that. Come on now. All right, so technically, I guess we've started the show, so you're going to have to edit that shit in there somehow.
Well, then I guess let's start the damn show.
Christopher Media, let's make some noise. Welcome to Sporgy, the show that gives you half-ass sports fans giving their half-ass opinions. Now, here are your hosts, Chris and Rich.
We're back 2 in a row. Will we get 3? Stay tuned next week to find out. I'm Chris.
I'm Rich.
Number 7. Lucky 7. Who's number 7?
Terrible Ted Lindsay.
Oh, there you go.
Part of the production line.
More hockey-related talk.
Yeah, I used to work a job where we had to label... We were making food, and we had to label every order with a number. And so I'd play a game with another coworker and, see who could remember the most numbers that were sports related. And he would always say I was making shit up. And I'm like, just because, look, man, sorry, bro, hate to say it, but I'm like, just because you black and you don't know hockey doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You can name.
Would you put them on their tickets to see if they know? Would you write LK line? See if the servers could pick up on it?
No, wouldn't go that far. You could say anybody from some scrub that rides the bench for the NBA, and I wouldn't know. So
speaking of numbers, I heard that hockey is, I don't know if this was someone saying what they think should happen, but I heard that the NHL is considering retiring the number 9 in general, across all the teams. Like no one gets to wear number 9 anymore. Yeah,
they did it with Gretzky's 99. And, of course, they've done it with Jackie Robinson in baseball. I mean, it's a nice gesture, but you had more than just Gordie Howe, who wore 9, who was a huge impact player. You had Maurice Richard. I mean, if you want to go recent...
Was he the greatest number 9?
You can make that argument. It's between Howe and Richard in my book. But, if you want to come a little bit more modern, I mean, I don't think he's anywhere on the same level as Howe and Richard. But, I mean, you had Mike Modano. He was number 9. I know there's others I'm just not thinking of off the top of my head. This wasn't in the show prep, damn it. Don't be throwing me curveballs.
Number 9?
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, Detroit's already retired it. Montreal's retired it. That's who Richard played for. As far as I'm concerned, you had Bobby Hall. He was number 9 in Chicago, but that's already retired. I think all the original 6 have it retired. I think all the original 6 had at least... up until the expansion, maybe a little bit after also, they all had, at least in the history to that point of their teams, a top 5 player who'd ever suited up for them was a number 9. So I don't know. I mean, once again, it's a nice gesture, but you really want to do something I think is more classy for Gordie Howe. It's not going to happen. Name the new Red Wings arena Gordie Howe Arena, or the Gordie Howe ring at Little Caesars Arena, or some shit like that. But that's
I
just
think I
not
could
gonna
see the
happen.
Gordie Howe ring happening, but, I saw people on Facebook doing that, and I just made granted, I'm a henchman for the company, but, two, I just made the point, like, it ain't called Harwell Field. It's not called Anderson Park. There's no way in hell they're going to call it Gordie Howe Arena.
Yeah, definitely. Days of arenas and ballparks being named after players or even the team, unless it's sponsored by or, brought to you by or whatever the fuck. I think those are long gone. We've let the
Unless
the
you're
horse
Yankee
out of
Stadium, then whatever, everyone thinks you're special for some fucking reason.
Yeah, but if you're playing for the Yankees now in the house that Steinbrenner built, they serve sushi and charge fucking $3,800 to $5,000 to sit somewhere behind home plate.
But it's like, when Fenway closes, it ain't going to be called New Fenway. There's going to be something else.
Oh, dude!
For some reason, the Yankees are special and they get to keep the name. Fuck is that shit?
When Fenway and Wrigley close, there's going to be a massive sea of butthurt and crying from Chicago and Boston like we've never seen. And one team went almost. Did they? No, they went almost 100 years without a championship, and the other team has gone over 100 years without a championship. And the levels of butthurt and crying at the names of the new parks it's going to be worse than when they get fucked out of the championship. That's all I'm saying.
Can you think of how much of a dump the internet would have taken had it been as prevalent when Tiger Stadium closed down and they decided to make Comerica Park? I remember sports radio being some pretty special territory for a second there.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, just to be honest with you, I had just come back from New York at that point, and I wasn't really following baseball at that much, but it still was like in the air to where it was like everybody had an opinion. Even people who didn't even watch the sport had an opinion about that. And I was like, man, dude, this is the world we live in. Come on now. You know what it is. Don't cry about it's not fair. Life ain't fair. The world ain't fair. It's
weird. I thought the more you got older, the more you were supposed to have the that's the way you grew up, that's the way it won't be. You clung on to that attitude more, and I'm finding that as I'm getting older, like that whole we should do this because it's the way we've always done argument to me seems fucking stupid. It seems like it's an excuse to stagnate, not advance and move forward.
Yeah, well, it's also just people hate change. And sports especially. I mean, look at how they have the technology to take the human element out of baseball as far as balls and strikes. They won't do it. And, I mean, it's the only sport where something so important is left to human judgment on an individual basis. I mean, you watch any baseball game, on Sunday Night Baseball, your local baseball team, whatever, and they'll say probably in the span of a game at least once every game, well, this umpire's strike zone is tighter or
yeah, I was like, what the fuck is that? Aren't they all supposed to have the same one?
Growing up, I was always told the strike zone was above your knee to below the letters. So the only way the strike zone got bigger or smaller is if you were taller. But in theory, it's still covering the same amount of area on the body. Apparently, strike zone is now somewhere between your belt and your knee. So
really,
watching how they
small little window.
Exactly. And so watching how they call it, I'm just like, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like, it's so embarrassing to watch, like the Fox broadcast or ESPN, and they show the little box with the strike zone, and the ball is just way the fuck out of the strike zone.
Yeah, and he calls it a strike.
Yeah, and the announcers are like, called strike. It's like, what can you say? Because if you watch baseball, a couple things you don't do with umpires. You don't call them cocksuckers. You don't make contact with them, and you don't argue balls and strikes.
Yeah.
You just don't do that. So, yeah, it's kind of funny. I find it amusing. And I the ex-wife, when I was trying to get her into baseball, she was like, I don't understand it. I'm like, honey, it's just one of those things. Don't try to understand it.
Do you think Jim Leland was the last of the old school managers? Like the guys who kick dirt on the shoes and get up in the guy's face?
I think he's the last one where when he got to that point, it was genuine. It wasn't it wasn't a tactic he was using. It was because he was super pissed. I clearly remember in like 2007, his second year managing, this umpire was just fucking blowing calls left and right about balls and strikes. And all you could hear was, on camera, but it was still far away. All you could hear is that the fucking strike zone, ump? And then you heard the ump turn and go, I know the fucking strike zone, Jimmy, shut up. And they're yelling at each other, and I'm going, holy shit. Then, of course, he came out and he got thrown out. I don't think managers are like that anymore for the most part. Every once in a while you're going to run into one that's going to be a hothead, but I think he was the last one. When he flipped the fuck out, it was genuine and, like I said, not by design. Like, I'm going to get my guys fired up. He didn't go over to Gene Lamont and go, okay, if this is the way I want you, because I'm about to get thrown out, so I want you to coach this way. Bring so-and-so in if we're ahead, bring so-and-so in if we're down. I don't think it was like that. I do think it's like that. Now, watching Osmus when he flipped out and he threw his fucking little windbreaker on home plate, I was like, that's just embarrassing, Brad. Just get off the field. Like, seriously.
Well, back in the day, who do we had Billy Martin.
Martin. Earl Weaver. Earl Weaver was good. Weaver was good to go off on people.
You got Leland cussing out Barry Bonds. That's too much wind.
Oh yeah, that's great though. That's great. I remember seeing that when I was long before he was a manager for the Tigers. Online, I saw a clip of it. Remember that the Best Damn Sports Show period? Remember that show on Fox?
Yeah.
Every once in a while they'd have like the 50 greatest meltdowns or whatever, and this before Leland came back to manage, and that was always in there, and I was just dying. I'm like, who the fuck would talk to Barry Bonds like that nowadays? Nobody. Yeah,
that'd be, excuse me, Mr. Bonds.
Well, it kind of reminds me of watching the 30 for 30 about the 85 Bears. Whatever your opinion of Ditka is, to me it's like, okay, he's a larger-in-life coach who won one championship with a defense that's a once-in-a-lifetime defense. So, see that great? But whatever. But yeah, like, it's just him going the fuck off on players and stuff. I'm thinking, like, I don't know if that shit would fly these days. Like, in public. Because there's this, you have to respect, don't disrespect me. Put respect on my name, dog. There's this mentality these days.
Keep my name out your mouth.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't think you could do that in public anymore. I probably think guys like Belichick do. I think he probably, like Mike Tomlin, I could see him doing it, taking guys in the office and dressing them down. But to do it in public, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you watched, but when HBO, I don't know if they're still doing it, but every year during the Winter Classic, they follow the two teams up to the Winter Classic. And one of the years it was the Red Wings. And Babcock. The Wings just stunk it up for the first two periods. Babcock, between the second and third period, like goes into the dressing room, slams the door so hard it pops back open. So the cameramen know they're not allowed in there, but they're just kind of like bending the rules by filming through the crack from where the door didn't shut.
This door's open.
Yeah, it's crazy. And all of a sudden, you're Babcock, like, motherfucker, what I tell you, you don't, blah, 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 blah. And then the cameraman just backing up real quick. He's like, oh. Shit.
Whoops, sorry. This isn't where I parked my car.
Yeah, shit like that is definitely behind closed doors, out of the way of cameras these days. I mean, that's kind of like, when they speak of the sanctity of the dressing room, what happens there stays there. I think that's the mentality these days. I don't think you don't call someone on the carpet in front of everybody, especially in the press. I mean, shit, you say to a player, or you say to the press that one of your players wasn't playing up to his potential during a game, especially in like football or something. The whole week, that's the talk of, oh my God, this player got called out, this and that, and should the coach have done it? Shouldn't he have done it? Then
the answer is always yes.
And no matter what, if it's the NFL, you get Herm Edwards going off, I just love Herm Edwards going off. No matter how bad of a day I am, I can just put any Herm Edwards rant on, and I'm happy.
My office is at 250 North Washington. Anytime you want to meet me there, you call me back on the air. You tell me what time and when, and I'll whip your ass.
That ain't happening no more.
No. All right, big boy. Didn't he call him big boy? Or?
It's easy to hide behind a microphone, son. Let's get your face out in public and let's live where people have to see you every day. And we'll see who the gutless wonder is.
Oh, Mike. I miss guys like that. I really do. Fucking, that's why, like, people always ask me why I like Rex Ryan so much, because fucking because of that. He's that type of coach.
Oh yeah. Oh, the Hard Knocks with the Jets when he was coaching. He was the highlight of that year. He was great because he just doesn't give a fuck.
Rex don't give no shits.
No. Because they air it, if it's after 10 o'clock, they'll air the uncut one. If it's before 10 o'clock at night, they air the cut one. And anytime he was on, it was just, I'm going to say easily a quarter of what was being said had to be bleeped before 10 o'clock. And this is him talking just to the team, his friends, other coaches, the press. It didn't matter. To fans, he's just who he is. And I was like that guy.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'd want him as a coach because he really hasn't won anything. But I like the guy,
Remember like Rod Marinelli, the robot, fucking the guy never showed any emotion. You always got, I know he's a defensive coordinator at heart and you need a certain personality for that, but no emotion, nothing at all, ever. You don't want that guy being your coach, do you? Or don't you? Well, obviously for us, we didn't, but...
Well, we got some big, strong men, and we got good pad level today in practice. What the fuck are you talking about? Pad level?
My axe is sharp. What was that one?
I can't remember. It was just a bunch of dumb shit. Seriously, it was just the dumbest shit ever. And I'm just like, this is supposed to motivate guys? No wonder they look at the coach and they're like, yeah, okay, yeah, this is elevating us above our losing culture here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have to get into it.
Oh, we do, don't we?
Dude, it's just we can't act like it didn't happen.
I know, right? It's like herpes. No matter how much you ignore it, it ain't going away. Hey, only 3 more, and then you're better than Jordan.
Oh yeah.
Or no, you're as good as Jordan with 3 more. You need 4 more if you want to be greater than Jordan.
Yep, good old King James.
Yeah,
finally led Cavs to the promised land.
They were down 3-1.
Dude,
because that's another big thing. They're the first team ever to do. They're the what? They're the 2000. Who was it? The Yankees or the Red Sox that did it?
2004 Red Sox against the Yankees down 0-3.
Yeah,
or 3-0, and came back and won 4 straight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have to say that's the greatest choke job I've ever seen, just because they had to win 4 straight.
Has it happened in hockey yet? Coming down from 3-1 or 0-3? No. I remember the Wings were down 3-1 to Vancouver one year and came back.
They were down 2-1. No, 3-1. You're right.
Yeah.
I think there was a Montreal team that came back and won down. Like back in the day, it was either Montreal or Toronto. I can't remember off the top of my head. Every once in a while, when a team's down 3 in a series, you'll see someone in the crowd hold up the sign like, "Remember so and so back in 1960, whatever. It can be done." And it's like, yeah. Well, I've also nailed a solid 9. That doesn't mean it's ever going to happen again. You know what I'm saying? So. Sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while. What do you shit.
Now, this is the first time in the finals, right? Because didn't they come down from 3-1 with one of the Miami championships, but it was in the round before?
Yeah, this first time in the finals. It is historic. And it is historic because it's against a team.
It's against the 72 Dolphins.
I know,
basketball.
Dude. I know. I mean, right now, people.
Now you get Golden State and the Patriots in the same conversation.
I was going to say, right now there are so many Patriots fans looking at the Golden State Warriors going, "We feel your pain."
Feel you, brother.
18-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I remember when we talked about this, you and I both agreed this is pretty much Golden State's to win or lose. And I'm pretty sure if we had some different fans, like this was a call-in show, that we would get different opinions saying don't disrespect LeBron because, and the Cavs because they won it. But it's like...
It's tainted to me, man. That Game 5, it's tainted to me. It's probably like how the L.A. people were in 89 when, Magic pulled his hamstring and you didn't have Magic for that series. Well, so what? We won.
Well, what about 88 finals on that call on Worthy or that no call on Worthy or whatever it was. I can't remember.
Robbed the Pistons of the three-peat technically.
Yeah, no, and I've heard that there's some there's one of them's, what is it, Curry's girlfriend, whatever. Mm-hmm. piping up about she thinks it's a conspiracy theory. And
did you read that article though?
I've read a couple articles. I didn't read the specific one you linked to.
Because this article makes several examples. Because it's not just her. It was the article was like, yeah, it's a bunch of people who didn't win bitching, but the overall point of the article was like, hey, where there's smoke, there's fire. Here, let me give you some of the examples they made. Yeah, of course they went with Aisha Curry popping off. What did she say on the Twitter? She watched her husband pick up his 6th foul with 4:22 remaining, watches him get ejected for the first time ever after exasperatingly and accidentally whipping his mouthguard at a fan. And she tweets, I've lost all respect. Sorry, this is absolutely rigged for money, ... or ratings, ... question mark. She's not alone. We brought it up. We brought it up last show. I was like, hey, man, you think that's the NBA trying to keep this going? But they said Ray Allen during the 2001 Eastern Conference Finals, when the Bucks lost to the Sixers, he said the bottom line is about making money. The league knows Philadelphia is going to make more money with LA than we would with LA. He's right. Milwaukee, LA isn't sexy.
I kind of had a debate with someone about what do you think's the most dirty of the big four out of the sports leagues, and I'm like, I'd say NFL first of all, because I think the NFL is just, come on, tax-exempt status and everything. Come on.
Yeah, they were like a church till 2 years ago.
Yeah, they were like the Scientology of the big four. You know, they were getting away with murder. But, I mean, I don't know necessarily that they were fixing things and stuff like that as much as the NBA. This has been a recurring theme over the years. I mean, going back to the Patrick Ewing draft.
They're throwing out names like Mark Cuban, Bill Simmons, talking about Tim. You remember Tim Donaghy and all that?
Mm-hmm. As far as cooking the game to get an outcome they want, I'd definitely say the NBA is most suspect.
Yeah, Tim Donaghy says he believes that the league office wanted to keep the Cleveland Cavaliers alive.
Well, remember what I said, dude. Right after that 30 for 30 about Cleveland come out called Believeland, I was like, look at what's happening. Everything's lining up. All the planets are getting aligned here for like a big, oh my God, they did it finally. I mean, the same thing happened in 2004 with the Red Sox. Before the 2004 baseball season, HBO come out with that, Curse of the Bambino. And they went into 2004. You also had Stephen King and Stuart Nann writing, they were following the team that year. They wrote a book about it. You had that Jimmy Fallon movie that was being made about that season and the Red Sox.
Fever Pitch.
Yeah, I mean, you had a lot of shit going on.
Dude, I totally think the end of the 2002 Super Bowl was fucking rigged because it was a last-second field goal that gave the Patriots the win. I totally think that was a job because it was the year after 9/11.
Yeah. I remember it. I remember it well.
I was like, oh, isn't this fucking convenient? I was like, oh, how cute. The Patriots won in the year, after the disaster on a last-second field goal on a bullshit call.
Well, I mean, if you really want to look at it, the Patriots ended up in the fucking Super Bowl on a bullshit call.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you go out to go talk to a Raiders fan. They're more pissed about that probably than they are about 2003 and Tampa winning over them in the Super Bowl.
I mean, it just makes me wonder how entangled these leagues. I mean, we're putting tinfoil hats, kids, all right? But it just makes me wonder how entangled these leagues and the government are, because the government has to look at these things like, Jesus Christ, these are huge economic forces in our country. It's I don't know where I'm going with that, but it just makes you wonder how deep things like this go, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, ultimately, you have to look at it like this. It's sports, and to a lot of people, it's more than just entertainment. At the end of the day, for lack of a better way to put it, entertainment is huge, dude. And it's
keeps us distracted.
It's a license to print money. Exactly. It keeps money coming in through tax revenue, keeps us distracted from a lot of shit going on in the world. That's a different podcast, but whatever. It really, for people who live in places like Buffalo. You ever been to Buffalo?
When I was little.
Okay. Buffalo fucking sucks, dude. I mean, seriously. It's like Detroit Junior on the other side of Canada, the QEW.
Oh.
I mean, it's just horrible. And I remember when I lived out there, because I wasn't that far from Buffalo.
Come on, buddy.
Talking to, people who had moved away because it was so economically depressed. They moved to a less economically depressed part of Detroit, not a better part of New York, not a better part of New York State, just less bad. And they were like, if we'd have won just one of those Super Bowls, if we'd have maybe just won, a Stanley Cup, something, it'd have pumped us up. It'd have brought the community together. I mean, That's really the truth, man.
Buffalo's like, man, I should have asked that bitch out.
I mean, it really is true, man. I mean, it happens. My dad, who was not a sports fan, was a truck driver, and he was on the road, and he came up he came up from Florida to Michigan, here in Detroit, about a week after the Wings won that cup in '97, and he was like, I couldn't believe it. He's like, son, I'm not trying to be funny or, sound like the Grand Wizard of the Clan, but when he was growing up in Detroit in the 60s, there was no black people hardly into hockey. And he was like, everyone's wearing Red Wings gear. Doesn't matter what,
Well, it's just people like winners and success. Everyone always fucking, jumps on bandwagon people. And sometimes they deserve to be jumped on, but at the same time, it's people. I think it's a human nature thing. We like to see winning. We like success. We like to get caught up in things that probably why brothers were wearing Red Wings jerseys 20 years ago. You like to see your team doing good.
Yeah, I mean,
and think about it at the time. The Pistons, that was Teal era, so you know how that goes.
Oof.
Tigers, that's the Bobby Higginson days. Lions, well. Wasn't that Bobby Ross? Wasn't that what this guy got to do to get fired around here? I mean, it's all we had.
That might even have been the Wayne Fonts era. But yeah, speaking of droughts, around the time the Red Wings won, I mean, they had a pretty long drought going from the 50s to the 90s. Mm-hmm. How long has it been for Cleveland?
Let's see. 1964. It was the Browns.
The Jim Brown Browns.
Yeah, so that's what, 42 years? And that's a lot, and that's any professional sports title. All right, even listening to the Drew and Mike podcast today. No affiliation, we're just fans, and they were talking about that. In Detroit, you at least had some baseball titles. In '68 and '84. You had a couple from the Pistons.
If you really want to get desperate, you had in the USFL, you had Michigan Panthers.
I mean, while the Wings drought was 47 years, I mean, they're talking about 42 years in Cleveland with nothing.
52, dude.
52. Damn. You're right.
Yeah.
Got to carry the one.
Yeah, don't use that Common Core way of figuring it out. It'll fuck you up every time.
Yeah, so, I mean, nothing from the Indians, nothing from the fucking Cavs, nothing from their no hockey team. What do they have, the Barons?
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't even really claim. I mean, I'm sure that plenty of people in Cleveland claim Ohio State and jump up and down. But, I mean, that's not even really near Cleveland. That's, oh, shit. Wow, I just had a brain fart. Not Cleveland. What's the other major city?
Cincinnati, Columbus.
Columbus, yes, thank you.
Blue Jackets.
Yeah, that's
the Ohio hockey team. Now, I can understand Cincinnati. They're in the South. Technically. But how does Cleveland not have a hockey team? We're putting them in Phoenix. You're telling me Cleveland, a city where there's winter, and I guarantee you people probably play hockey, couldn't support a hockey team?
Yeah. Funny how that works, huh?
It's on a lake. It's on Lake Erie. It freezes over.
I'm just... I can't wait till they stick another one below the Mason-Dixon line. And New England still doesn't have a hockey team.
If Buffalo fucking New York has a fucking hockey team, how does Cleveland not have a hockey team? NHL got beef with Cleveland? Art Modell pissed them off too.
Oh shit. But yeah, man, so I mean that's a good thing for Cleveland, I guess. I mean, I know that a lot of people, Michigan and Ohio, especially because of if you're a U of M football guy, well, now if you're a Spartan, you're starting to hate Ohio State as much as, I mean, I don't know if you'll ever get to the point we hate them as much as Michigan fans, but if you're a State fan, you're starting to hate Ohio State just as much or close to it. But I mean, ultimately, like, I've always looked at Cleveland and been like, oh, God, you poor bastards. Even when we go down there, like to play a gig, or a buddy of mine had a job where they had a corporate apartment down there, in the lofts, and I mean, it was, nice.
But it's still in fucking Cleveland.
Exactly. I'm like, but the problem is we're in Cleveland,
Yeah, it's a badass place. Too bad it's in Cleveland.
So.
And hey, I had a thought today. To be really unorthodox, I might be the only person behind a microphone talking about sports that's having this opinion. Maybe I'm not. LeBron should retire. LeBron James stock right now is at an all-time high. Public opinion of LeBron, is probably at its peak as far as nationally. Even all the haters had to come around and be like, hey, man, he did what he said he was going to do. Put the team on his back, and he fucking did it. Retire, dude. Pull a Peyton Manning. Go out, isn't it all from the Seinfeld? George Costanza going out on a high note.
Good Lord. Are you trying to get us in trouble with people?
Wow. But for real. Unless this is the beginning of like a fucking 5 championship run. Dude, he's 31, all right?
His career is 13. He's been playing for 13 years. But that's not 13 years after a 1, 2, 3 year college career.
But he's 31. Let's talk about the male human body. I mean, it's downhill from here, isn't it?
Shaq won some championships, and Shaq was putting a lot more weight and stress on his knees.
Shaq just had to stand there with a knee brace on half the goddamn time. I mean, for real. You just put Shaq down low and go, don't move.
He's like Chief in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Just stand here with your arms up.
Like pull a Calvin Johnson or a Barry Sanders. Only the difference is you got a title. Get out of the game before you do any more goddamn damage to yourself. You know, you got 3 kids, 3 titles, $1 billion contract with Nike. You came back to Cleveland, you know, redeemed yourself, told him you're going to put the city on the back and get him a championship, and you did. Fucking dude, peace out.
Yeah, and if he does that, he better move fucking back to South Beach and forget about ever going home again. Seriously, because the whole city will hate his ass probably just as much. No, not the whole city, but I'd say over half the city would hate his ass probably just as much as they did after the decision. So,
hey man, Def Leppard, it's better to burn out than fade away. All right, you want to watch? Come on, we talked about it. You don't want to be Michael Jordan. You don't want to be like, come on, man, it's getting sad. You don't want to see LeBron do that. I mean, even Kobe's last couple of years, it's like, it's like, come on, buddy. It's like, what are you doing?
I think you're the only person thinking it. I mean, maybe there's a couple, oddball sportscasters somewhere in the country saying the same thing. But I mean, I know that if you're putting them up there, like in that rare air type area, you're not agreeing with a lot of guys like, Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley's like, he still ain't in the top 5 as far as I'm concerned. He's still got a whole lot left to prove, if you ask me. I'm like, damn, dude.
Yeah, 4 more rings worth.
What really fucked him was that not 1, not 2, not 3, not 5. If he had not said that shit, people would not come down on him as hard as they have. But his dumb ass had to say that shit. It just, his ego would not let him not act like it's his birthright. Now that he's with Miami, just to walk in and just hand me the fucking championship. He forgot you got to play the fucking games.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think hopefully, because I've never had a strong dislike for LeBron. I have a lot of friends that do. In fact, to them, he's their Sidney Crosby. Like, they hate his ass. And I'm like, all right, whatever. But I do respect his ability. And, he is one of the best players since I've been sucking wind on this rock that I've ever seen. I mean, he's fucking man's at one point he was unstoppable. One-on-one at least. But even though basketball is the one sport to where one player can change the outcome of a game a whole lot, sometimes you need other people. And I personally don't think LeBron ever wants the ball at the end of the game. I think he's more than happy to pass it off and let someone else take that final shot.
Man, I'm looking at his stats here, trying to poke some holes in him and trying to maybe see if he's on the decline, and not really. His field goal percentage is, no. See, last year took a dip, but he went right back up this year.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying. It's not like horrible by any means, so he's still going strong. Dude, 31 is not 31 of 20, 30 years ago. It's not you're entering the twilight of your career and you might have 1 or 2, good years left. Especially if an athlete takes care of themselves, they can play if they have good genes and they take care of themselves. Case in point, all you have to think of is Chris Chelios.
Yeah, he played till he's like 55, right?
That was Gordie Howe. But, yeah, I mean, dude, Chris Chelios is still in ridiculously good shape.
Well, you know what, too? I thought of a rebuttal to my own argument. 2 words. Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Like, I heard he was still playing it. I'm like, what? He's still playing? I thought he retired 5 years ago.
So I think rumors of his demise are a little premature. I mean, I get it,
Just the idea.
Just, go out on top. I mean, that would be like really going out on top. Let's be honest. Jerome Bettis, he didn't go out on top. Peyton Manning did not go out on top. He did not win that Super Bowl for him. Neither did Jerome Bettis win that Super Bowl for Pittsburgh. Elway, you could make a case that he went out on top.
No way. Elway,
really?
When Elway won his first ring, the sun was definitely behind the horizon for him. Like, he had already been in the year like a decade plus when he won his first one, right?
No, I'm talking about as far as having an impact on the game that he won. Dude, his first Super Bowl ring was he got helicoptered running for the goal line. Like you just don't see quarterbacks do that shit hardly anymore, period. Let alone when they were his age and at what everyone thought was the very end of his career after that game. I mean, he wanted that fucking Super Bowl badly and put his life, not his life, but his health out there on the line more so than just by strapping up.
It's audio from the game.
It took me a second. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, helicopter. Yeah. But I don't know, man. It would be interesting, and definitely the league would just go, oh, shit. What do we do now? Because we've definitely pissed off Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Like,
well, they got Steph Curry, they got Kevin Durant, they got Russell Westbrook. I mean, they got their boys.
Yeah, but it's going to be I personally think if there's that much fucking just bitterness out there,
I mean, if you want to go
with Golden State, it's gonna take some pitch and some woo from the NBA to smooth that over. It really is.
I mean, if you want to go into some, get the tinfoil hat back out, deeper into some conspiracy shit, you could argue that Draymond Green didn't get suspended for that nut kick because they were like, no, we're gonna have a Steph Curry LeBron showdown. This isn't how this is going down.
Well, I won't, since they're terrestrial radio stations, and to be honest with you, I don't give a fuck enough to give them any credit. I did hear a few people here on local sports talk radio saying that at that point. So that actually got some traction. So who knows, man? All I know is that if LeBron was to just pull the plug and call it quits, the NBA is like the guy who leaves his wife for his girlfriend, and then his girlfriend dumps him, and then he goes crawling back to the wife. Like, all in the span of, like, a month or two. Like, he didn't even have time to smooth it over with the wife and, like, it's not, I made a mistake with her. I'm sorry. It's going to be like, no, the only reason your ass is here is because she dumped you. That's it. You wouldn't be talking to me otherwise. So fuck you, That's what I'm getting at. And I would kind of like to see the NBA go through that, actually. That'd be interesting. Make for good off-season drama as far as that league goes.
That would definitely be a move from out of nowhere.
Big time.
I'm bummed out they didn't finish Golden State. It's like, oh, you went all the way. You pulled out your dick and then put it back in your pants. Like, oh, I'm going to get some. Oh, I'm going home.
Oh, man, I'm wondering if the story behind the story is going to come out here maybe this summer, maybe like a couple seasons down the road, about how those guys just assumed they had it wrapped up and were not being as serious about it as they should have been. Because you hear about that quite a lot.
Those motherfuckers dropped 3 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when the Yankees did it in 2004, it was like, there was rumblings that they just were like, come on, they're not going to, okay, they beat us 1 game. They're not going to beat us 4 in a row. Okay, they beat us 2 games. They're not going to, shit, they beat us 3 games. This is down to a 1-game series. Oh, shit. It was just like overconfidence. So I'm wondering about the story behind the story. I think that could be interesting, but who knows? We might never know. It's not like it's the Lakers locker room where everything gets periscoped and then posted.
I know, right? Over odds on Nick Young is a Laker next season?
I don't even know where to start with that, man. Well, I can't remember what happened. I think we just ended up having to take a week off for whatever reason. That story had already worked its way through the news cycle by the time we come back. But I was just like, oh, that poor bastard. He's so dumb. So dumb. Part of that generation that thinks everything has to be on fucking line and has to be on social media. And he's going, I was hacked. Okay, you were hacked. Okay. No, you weren't, motherfucker. No one hacked your shit and put that up. Let's be honest here.
But the other part of that too is on the other dude in the situation is it kind of holds true that if you don't want something out there, you really don't tell anybody.
No.
It's a subconscious thing. You could argue he subconsciously wanted to get it out there. But man, if you want to keep shit a secret for real, you never tell anybody ever.
Well, I mean, honestly, as far as I'm concerned, whatever. Miss Azalea is so fucking overrated. It's like,
Bitch looks weird.
She looks like one of the fucking Wayans brothers from White Girls.
Like, everyone's like, she's hot. I'm like, that bitch looks weird.
She's a super pale, mostly flat-chested white chick with a fat ass. If that's what you want, come to Detroit. We got plenty of those.
It basically confuses my dick. And it's like, how do we feel like this? I don't know. We have to confer. Like, do we like this? I'm not sure. Well, the fact that we're saying it's not sure isn't a good sign, right? Right. All right, Dick. Decision made.
Well, hey, whatever. My dick is not confused. That's a pass all day. I mean, not like I'm some prize, but it's like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, but apparently she likes black guys, so.
Well, I mean, I don't have to worry about it anyway, so. Yeah, I'm a fat, short man of Irish descent. I don't have to worry about that shit.
You're built like a potato.
Yes. I am very far away from tall, athletic, and black.
Jim McMahon wants marijuana off the banned substances list in the NFL.
Why shouldn't it be, though?
I think we talked about this on the Weedsman podcast, available Tuesdays and Fridays at iTunes and ChristopherMedia.net.
What's going to happen eventually is the more states that either decriminalize it or legalize it flat out, it's going to be harder and harder for the NFL or any league to justify keeping it on the banned substance list.
Oh, just click on that link. It's got Jim McMahon smoking a bowl.
Dude, I'm pretty sure that was a common sight in '85. Let alone now.
With his bald head and he's got sunglasses on and like a sheriff's jacket.
Oh, that reminds me. Someone just posted this meme that's somewhat relevant. What's the difference between Back to the Future and a Bears fan? Marty McFly stopped going back to 1985 eventually.
I knew 1985 was in the punchline. I was just going to ferret it
out. I was like, damn, all right. I mean, it's cheesy, but it's like, if you know any Chicago Bears fans, it's kind of apt.
Yeah, they lean on that. They lean on that 85 a lot.
Yeah, they're the Uncle Rico of
back in 85
of NFL fans. I could have tossed that football over the mountains. But yeah, dude, it's first of all, if I'm an owner and I have any say in do I want my players out of clubs drinking, which is the most destructive thing you can do to your body, like that's legal. I mean, chronic alcoholics die before chronic heroin addicts unless heroin addicts overdose. What's that fucking tell you? And on top of that, nothing good happens in a nightclub at 2:30 in the morning.
Fuck no.
So do I really want my players, basically people I've invested millions and millions in clubs, getting into fights, maybe getting into car accidents, maybe shooting themselves, whatever the fuck, getting shot, shooting other people? Or would I rather have them sitting at home smoking a bowl playing Madden? Well, it's somewhat football related. I'd rather you play Madden, especially if you can download the real fucking playbook like you can these days. Learn the playbook through Madden. I don't give a shit. Just learn it.
You know what doesn't happen when you're passed out on the couch with smoking and weed? Getting arrested.
Yeah.
Slapping somebody.
Yeah. I like it.
Stabbing somebody. Asking them to hold the knife. You know, none of that happens.
You know, I've had a few conversations with some people, and we live in a medical marijuana state.
Hell yeah,
might actually be time for me to make a call to a doctor.
Hell yeah.
A lot better for you than drinking. A lot less trouble you get into.
A lot more sandwiches eaten.
You're definitely not ripping and running the streets like a jackass. 3 o'clock in the morning, tearing it up, doing 150 down 75, drunk off your ass. Or if you're high off your ass, you're definitely not doing that.
The difference between drunk ideas and high ideas is drunk ideas is always somebody going, this is a bad idea, and it goes down anyways, and it's an awful idea. The high ideas lose momentum. Yeah, we're going to do this. And then someone sees a bright light or cartoons come on TV, and that's it. It dies. The end. No more bad idea.
What as Bill Hicks said, people say that marijuana robs your ambition, that you can't do high what you can do sober. Wrong. I can do everything I can do high that I can do sober. I just don't want to.
Exactly.
I'm just not bothered with it.
Although, I did have this thought when you were talking about, NFL players getting high and not fucking their shit. Charles Rogers, remember him passing out in the drive-thru? Man fell asleep in the drive-thru.
Well, okay, hold on.
Wasn't the drive-thru? Wasn't it? Didn't he fall asleep at a light? He did something where he was so high he fell asleep while he was driving.
You sure it wasn't a drive-thru? I thought it was, because then I thought that Kitna dressed up as the Lions coach that went naked through the drive-thru. So it was like there was a running joke here in Detroit about what the fuck is it with the Lions organizations and drive-thrus. It's just, you better go into White Castle if you're get the late night munchies and just walk in. It's better for you. Drive-thrus are bad ideas if you're in the Lions organization.
By the way, I Googled Charles Rogers falls asleep, and the first thing that comes up is the story about it. Let's see, it's on Deadspin. Former Detroit MSU receiver Charles Rogers was arrested again This time for falling asleep in a Mexican restaurant at 3:15 p.m. on a Tuesday. On a fucking Tuesday, dude.
In the
middle afternoon.
Dude, what the fuck? What? Wait, okay, hold on. What the fuck kind of weed is he smoking? I want to get some of that shit, man.
They couldn't wake him. The workers at the restaurant couldn't wake him up. They thought he had a heart attack.
Oh, God. Damn, dude, he wasn't even snoring. He's just assed out.
Hey, man, is this dude dead? Oh, here we go. From MLive.com. This is from 2009. That last was 2010. He was found non-responsive behind the wheel of his Mercedes at 2 p.m.
Are we sure he's not a narcoleptic? We just don't know it. Maybe a narcoleptic coupled with like a... This is all speculation, by the way. Maybe a narcoleptic coupled with a, prescription pill habit. So when he goes out, he really goes out. Because these are not times you expect people just to be fucking passing out, just ass out behind the car at a table, eating a meal.
I want more fucking details. They just said he passed out in his car at 2 p.m. at 8 Mile Meadowbrook. Like, I don't forget, was it at a light? Like I said, we heard it was a taco, but god damn it, twice. Just assed out while the car's running. And then just, these tacos are so good, I'm gonna catch a nap.
I want to meet the restaurant that has tacos so good that I'm like, oh man, after that I gotta take a nap right here. Like, I'm not even gonna go to my car and kick the seat back or nothing. I'm just gonna go right here, face down, into my pintos and bean, or pintos and cheese. So,
well, like I said, he is the cautionary tale. But too, Ricky Williams, he quit football to go smoke pot.
Now, dude, after watching that documentary about him, homeboy has some serious mental issues.
You think he crumbled under the pressure?
I mean, I think he was diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder and being bipolar. I mean, he had some serious underlying mental issues before if he'd have never picked up weed. I mean, plus there was like some sort of weird, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, like molested by his dad type thing that he just completely refuses to deal with. And that's like because just avoids everything. So the minute something gets to the point where it's hard for him to deal with, he just pushes it out of his way and starts avoiding it. And that's relationships, anything. So I think the NFL was kind of that. It was just easy to latch on to as, well, why would someone give up millions and fame and celebrity? Oh, because he wants to fucking smoke weed.
He likes weed is sexier than mental illness.
Yeah.
Because if you say the word mental illness too close to the word NFL, they don't want you looking under that car cover.
You start
concern you.
You start drawing conclusions, in between one and the other. Yeah, but no, I definitely think that was his case. But I mean, hey, it made for good story. I mean, you had Skip Bayless going hard on him. You had Jim Rome. I mean, I remember it was just, one after the other, all these fucking sports talking heads just ripping him apart for it. And I'm like, even then, there's got to be something more to it than this, man. I mean, yeah, the dude he wants to smoke weed, but he's not a dumb guy. If you've ever, watched any in-depth interviews with him or the documentary about him, he's not stupid.
No, I just saw something with him last season where he's fucking very articulate man.
Yeah, well-read. And so he understands that it was going to be in his system, so he had to have done it because he just didn't care. Or it was a passive-aggressive way of, instead of going through the whole, I quit again because I can't deal with it, this is my reason, so now I'm being suspended, so now the decision's out of my hands. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like when you treat your girlfriend like shit so she breaks up with you because you're too much of a pussy to fucking break up with her yourself.
Yeah, kind of.
And that's what I'm thinking. And who makes those mistakes? Usually young guys, young people. And what was he, in his 20s when all this shit was going on?
For sure. Probably none of one of those guys that got too much money too young, too quickly. I mean, that's usually just in any industry a recipe for fucking disaster.
Yeah.
You'd have given me 6 figures from 21 to about 27, I'd be fucking dead too. That's why half these people only past 27.
Yeah, but
And then you got the modern day cautionary tale with your boy Johnny Football. Hey, did you see that article the other day? He's ready for football.
It's like, is he?
No, nobody cares.
In
he's
Canada?
focusing on football. That's what he's saying.
Well, NFL Europe folded, so I don't know where the fuck he thinks he's going.
In between arraignments, he's focusing on football.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Arena football's still a thing. He can go play arena football.
There you go.
Yeah. So
him and Uncle Rico.
At 50-yard fight. There you go. 50-yard war, or whatever they called it.
Him and Ryan Leaf can start their own league. And Jamarcus, what was his Cousins or Russell? The dude from Oakland who just flamed out.
Oh, Russell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
like immediately.
Dude, he packed on the pounds. Homeboy got his contract and went to fucking Sizzler. I mean, that's what the fuck happened. There.
Every night at Golden Corral.
Like he went to Olive Garden, took that fucking endless breadsticks shit way
every
too
lunch,
seriously.
fucking every day.
Yeah, I mean, that was just, now when that happens, like, and as a fat guy myself, I guess I have the right to say it because I am one. I don't know. I don't know how that works in the social justice warrior world, but like when I see athletes go down like due to shit like that, I'm like, okay, that is you just not giving a fuck. Come on now, dude.
Yeah, how are you not paying some fucking crazy white guy to come yell at you every day starting at 5 a.m.? This is how I live in this. This is how I make the money. You know, got to keep it tip top. And
to give it an example of you can, as long as you work out, you can pretty much do what you want. To give an example of that, I know this is a sports podcast, but I'm sure there's a few people listening who have actually seen Zach Wilde from when he started with Ozzy Osbourne as a skinny blonde kid to a big fucking Viking-looking motherfucker that he is now. And the reason he got that way is because he drank beer all day, every day, but he also worked out all day, every day. He was literally, instead of just sitting around drinking, becoming a fat slob, he drank beer, played guitar, and worked out. So the proof is in the pudding. If these guys put in hard workouts, they could eat. Fucking look at what linemen eat to get up for the season. I mean, do you remember that one Hard Knocks where the guy was like, he eats 10,000 calories a day?
Oh, man.
And he wasn't gaining weight. Like, he wasn't gaining fat. He was just gaining muscle, and he was just going 10,000 calories a day plus his workout. And he went to training camp. And he actually lost weight in training camp because it cut how many calories he ate. But he was just gaining muscle in the off season. Big old 6'4" monster. I can't remember his name, but dude, I remember him mixing, like he had a bowl of chicken wings. It had like 40 chicken wings in it. And he's mixing the hot, like the Frank's Red Hot in there. And he just sits down with a bowl of 40 chicken wings and starts going to town. I'm like, holy shit. That's to me, like, that is like, okay, you guys just don't care. You don't care enough to put in the work. That's all there is to it. You want to sit around and eat.
Well, dude, you can't be all big and buff and then not do anything because that muscle turns to fat real quick.
Yes, it does.
You go from being cut to being fat, 3 months, 4 months, so it's all it takes 6 months.
Yeah, I've had some buddies that played pretty high level high school and low level college sports. They live the stereotypical jock, what you would think the stereotypical jock life is, partying, drinking, eating pizza, basically, living like there's no tomorrow. And as long as they were still playing sports and working out, they were fine. The minute they stopped playing sports, they either graduated or they just got hurt and they couldn't play anymore. They started living a normal lifestyle, not even just a passive, lifestyle, just a normal one. But they kept partying and eating and doing shit like they were doing, and it just wham, right on top of them. So it happens, man. It happens.
All right. You're all going to get old and fat and die. Good spot to end the show.
Is this news to anybody? If it is, I'm sorry. If it is, you're 5 and you shouldn't be listening to this podcast anyways. All right, so we're going to sign off on this one?
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for listening. At Sporgy Podcast on Twitter. At Sporgy_podcast on Instagram. We made it longer than the first time. All right. I guess we're no longer considered obscene. We're on Facebook. Thanks for all the love. Thanks to everybody who's downloaded. And we're going to do it next week, 3 in a row. We're going to get these going every week. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
All right, later, guys.
If you enjoy this show and want more people to know about it, head on over to iTunes, leave a comment, and rate it 5 stars. Make sure you like and share us on Facebook, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Just search for Christopher Media. Thank you in advance for supporting Christopher Media by clicking on the PayPal button and by clicking through to all the sponsors who support ChristopherMedia.net. Most importantly, we would like to take the time to extend an extra special thanks to you. Christopher Media could not exist without your support. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net, and thank you for listening. Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Hey, it's your home, and I need to ask you a few favors. In the kitchen, there's a spider stuck between the window and the screen, and I know it's dead, and technically it's outside, but it's still freaking me out. Can you flick it out or something? Also, just to save some money, and it's super easy, could you bundle your home and car insurance with Geico? Last thing, could you take the holiday decorations down? Yeah, I'm one of those.
Geico. For bundling made easy, go to geico.com today.
Electrical pros, the Home Depot can help you put safety first with a 4-pack of Kidde FireX hardwire smoke detectors for just $39.97. Order these interconnected smoke alarms online and you put safety first. And that's followed by $10 savings on each pack, free delivery, and peace of mind knowing you got the right brand for fire safety. See? Put safety first and everything else follows when you order a 4-pack of Kidde smoke detectors for just $39.97. Only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only.